just so you guys know, the call's being recorded. So obviously, thank you guys for showing up. It's your Thursday night. It's time with your family that you are spending working on your business, and that shows us that you guys are leaders, right? Because you take time out for your business, and that's honestly what's going to move your business forward is showing up to calls like this, being tuned into the National Wake Up Call, and taking tips and notes from other coaches, because everybody, hi Laurel, has such different styles that you never know when and where you're going to pick something up from someone. So it's so important to be engaged in these team calls. So first of all, I just want to say congratulations to our one person in our downline who has 2 Success Club points, and that's Gina Davis. Holy cow, what a rock star. What is it, like June 2nd right now, and she already has 2 points? That's fantastic. It's Thursday right now. So what I always like to do every Thursday is I like to set a goal for the very next week. So from Thursday to Thursday, right? Because that's when we do our little team recognition. My goal by next Thursday is to have 4 Success Club points. So I highly encourage everybody to set that goal for yourself as well, whether it be 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, whatever your goal is. Everybody has different versions of goals. So I encourage you guys to do that. Really quickly, I wanted to talk about something that's super exciting for our team, and that's going to be actually a really major change. It's something that we've never done before, but I had a call this morning with a bunch of other leaders in our team and in our downline and stuff, and we just were thinking, like, how can we help you guys more move your business forward, and how can we just be totally engaged with each other, right? So these team calls, I think next month is like my 2-year mark of a coach, like officially 2 years. Hold on, I have to mute someone. Okay, so I think like next month is official 2 years. So what that means is every single week, 1 to 2 times a week for the last 2 years of my life, I've done a team call. So prior to having Stephanie, who has taken half of the load off of my back, which is fantastic, I did a team call by myself every week. So what you guys don't see that goes in behind the scenes of these team calls is a lot of time and effort spent on creating content. They're like, okay, what do they need? What's best going to suit them? Let's get together a PowerPoint. How can we best help them? And so what you guys don't see is, like, the coaches on this call who have hosted team calls for us know that you can spend like potentially 3 to 4 hours getting your content ready for a call, right? Not to mention, like, it's really nerve-wracking to go on a call with like so many people and see so many faces. It's really scary, especially when you do your first few. So it takes a lot of your time and mental energy all in the same boat. So with that being said, we're moving to something, we're no longer having team calls. What we're moving to is something going to be called a team meeting. And what this means, super exciting. So everybody knows this business activity tracker. I can pull it up for you real quick. This business activity tracker can be found in your Coach Online office, and this is going to be the new model for our team meetings. And basically what's going to happen is once a week, every week, we're going to be rotating through different leaders. It's going to start with Stephanie Hall, myself, and Jason Croxford. The cool thing about this team meeting is that it's going to be at different times every week. So I know, like, a lot of you guys are moms and you have kids, and 8 p.m. on a Thursday night is crazy because it's bedtime, right? So some of these calls might be held on a Saturday at noon, or a coffee and chat like 5 a.m. or 8 p.m., like whatever works for the leader's schedule and whatever works for your schedule. Now, here's the cool thing. Let's say like 1 week you're like, oh, that time doesn't work for me. Get in on the next week. It doesn't have to be your personally sponsored coach, your leader. It doesn't have to be their call that you get in on. You can get in on anybody's call. But this is going to be your own form of business accountability. So we were thinking this morning, like, wow, we really do a lot of work keeping our challengers accountable, right? We really do. We do these challenge groups. We send them messages. We check in with them. But like, us as coaches, how do we keep ourselves truly and genuinely accountable to our business? We don't. There's no check-in. There's no challenge group for us. Like, there's nothing. So instead of a team call where I just endlessly ramble my mouth for an hour talking to you guys, we're going to have team meetings. And what this means is everybody who logs on to the call, you have to participate. You have to be involved. We came up with a list of I think it's 4 or 5 things. We'll release that list before the next team meeting next week. I think it's going to still be at Thursday at 8. Stephanie's going to be running it. So we'll see what time works best for her schedule. But basically, the structure is going to be everybody logs in. The first 5 minutes, we're going to talk about recognition, upcoming things that just need to be housekeeping. And then we're going to go through every single person who's on the team call, and you're going to address a few points. There's a few points that we'll send out to you because I don't want to make this call go too long. But basically, how many invites did you have? How many new contacts did you have? What workout program are you doing? And how did you share your workout? Did you post a video? Did you post a photo? How are you getting your story out there? Because we don't focus enough on story. And then I know that one of our teams already does a book club, but we're starting another book club. So each month we're all going to read the same personal development book. And at that team meeting, you're going to bring your one takeaway from the chapter that you read that week. So just a really cool way to just get different people's opinions and ideas on things. And then also you're allowed to bring one struggle, but the struggle that you bring, you have to also bring a solution. So unless you're totally stumped and you don't have a solution for it, please, this is not a place to be negative. If you want to totally flip out and have oh my gosh moments, please call your sponsor. That's what we're here for. Trust me, I do it all the time. So that's what that's for. But you're allowed to bring a struggle, because then as a team, we can come together and say okay, so maybe, Stephanie's struggling with this. Well, maybe someone else is really, really excelling with that. So it's going to be just a really, really new and exciting way to just really, really be engaged with each other. So please, you can't do your webcam like that anymore when you come to the team meetings. Your webcam has to be on. You have to be involved. You have to be engaged. This is for your own accountability. So if you feel fine and you're great, you don't need accountability, that's fantastic. More power to you. I need accountability in my business. Otherwise, it's so easy for me to fall off. So I am truly, truly excited about this. I also thought just a little bit more about it this afternoon, and I think that once a month we will still do an informational team call like this, where we have, whether it be me or Steph or a guest presenter from another team or someone stepping up in a leadership position to really just, encourage and motivate and just share their helpful tips, because I do think that's important too. So does anybody have any questions about the structure of the team meetings? Just raise your hand and I'll unmute you. Okay, cool. I don't see anything. So I hope you guys are excited. I'm kid on Christmas morning excited. It's really weird. All right, so a lot of you guys might know this, you might not know this, but last week went to Barcelona, Spain. And while I was there, I had a really crazy just a really crazy thing happened to me. And it was honestly a full circle moment. It was the most bizarre thing. So while I'm doing this, I'm thinking holy cow, this is totally my business and I can't wait to share it with you guys. But even more full circle, I had intended on doing this call on mindset and fear, because this is something that happened to me not once, but twice while I was in Barcelona. And it's so bizarre that actually on Tuesday morning, I got a phone call from Beachbody's corporate office, and they asked me if I would film a video for the Beachbody Champions page on mindset and fear. That's insane to me. So they had no idea I was doing this team call. So I was wow, that's I think it was really meant to be, honestly, for me to do this team call. Okay, so I want to just bring you to one of my little adventures in Barcelona, Spain, and I want you guys to picture this vividly. So let me see if I can actually find a photo of this mountain. Let me just tell you guys really quick that we went there for our honeymoon. And while we, one of the days that we were there, my husband said, hey, we're going to go rock climbing. And I thought wow, that's really cool, because I went rock climbing once in a gym, a controlled location, and I tore my labrum. That's in my shoulder. So I have a torn shoulder from rock climbing. Okay. So you can imagine when he told me this, I thought we were going to a rock climbing gym. So I'm all right, that's cool. No big deal. Whatever. I've done it before. I'm sure it will be fine. Okay. So this little Spanish guy picks us up one morning in his little little Jeep thing. And he goes, all right, so you guys ready to like go rock climbing? We're driving. My gosh, we're driving for like an hour. It was like the most beautiful scene ever. So he's asking us about like, I thought we were going to some isolated desert gym. I was like, this is such a far away like rock climbing gym. So we're looking at the beach and whatever, and then all of a sudden we come up on this beautiful mountain that is like 15,000 feet. I don't even know. This is the mountain here. This rock right here, to be specific, is where we were. So we're driving there, and this mountain climbing, rock climbing guide is asking my husband, like, okay, so yeah, you guys have a lot of experience with outdoor rock climbing, right? And Mo's lying to this guy. And my husband's like, yeah, we do it all the time. All the time? I'm like sitting in the back seat freaking out. So I'm like, you're lying. I can't believe you're lying to this guy, right? So he's like, it's fine. So this guy is like, all right, so you're like familiar with rappelling and all these terms that I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going rock climbing. This is insane. I've never done this. And my husband's lying to this guy saying I'm a professional rock climber. So we get there and we get to this mountain that is like ginormously high. And on the drive there, it almost reminded me of actually how I felt when I signed up for this business. All right, so I'm driving to this rock climbing location and I'm like excited because I am an adrenaline junkie anyways. So I'm like, wow, this is actually kind of cool. Like, I'm going to rock climb. This is kind of cool. Once I found out we were scaling a mountain, I was like, all right, whatever. This is kind of cool. But then we pulled up to the mountain. This is how it is when you sign up for your business. It doesn't matter like how far you are into your business. You can totally relate to this story. When you sign up for your business, you're very, very excited because it's something new and you're like, this is so cool. I'm a fitness coach. Like, this is awesome, right? So exciting. That's how I felt when we were driving to this mountain. Then we get to this mountain and we get all of our gear out and we're sitting at the bottom of the mountain and I'm looking up the mountain and I'm like, holy cannoli, like this is the mountain I'm going to climb. And this is kind of like your business, right? Because now let's say you're forming a relationship with your first person. You're trying to reach out to your first person and you're looking at this like, holy cow, how am I ever going to do this, right? And all of these fears and all these emotions set in and like fear just takes over and you're like, there's no way I can do this. That's how I felt at the bottom of this rock. There's no way that I'm going to go through with this. This is insane. So this little rock climbing guide, he's like the most professional rock climber ever. He like taught the USA Men's League, whatever. He's just really, really impressive resume. So he like climbs up this rock in 2 seconds and like hooks up the pulley and comes back down and he goes, all right, well, Mo, you're going to go first. Mo goes up, no problem, comes back down. I'm like, was that scary? And again, my husband is apparently a chronic liar and said, no, not at all. And I was like, okay. All right. So at this point in time, I'm sitting at the bottom of this rock, looking up, kind of like I did when I first signed up with this business, looking up, how am I ever going to make it? How am I going to get there? Right? Such a mindset. So I started to look at short milestones instead of this long thing, which is exactly what I did when I first signed up as a coach. I started to just look at it per month. What can I do per month to move my business forward? Well, obviously I have to hit Success Club 5, and my goal was to sign on 2 new coaches, a month. That was like my monthly goal. So back to the rock climbing story, I had to break this down into smaller goals because I was very, very overwhelmed and I was very, very scared. Just like with my business, because I started to look forward to like, I got to be a 15-star diamond coach and blah, blah, blah. No. Like backtrack light years. You have to hit Success Club and you have to bring on coaches, right? So for rock climbing, I said, well, he had these like little clips hooked up. And I was like, I got to just get to the little clips. And that's it. And I'm not going to look any further. I'm not going to look past it. All right, cool. Big pump up on my own shoulders. And I was like, you got this, right? You got this. So I start climbing up this little rock here. I'm just going to show you a little video. So this is him yelling at me saying like, you got this or whatever.
It's a little bit strange, but it's strange.
Can't understand him at all.
You can work more with your central point of balance.
My central point of balance, I don't even know what that is.
Very nice. Remember.
Okay, so.
Okay, good job. Remember that it's better if your foot can pivot. Yes, like this. It's a little bit strange, but it's better. Because after you can go.
I had no idea what this guy was saying. So to make that a long story short, I ended up getting to the first clip. And when I got to the first clip, I thought, wow, I did this. Like I got to the first clip. Granted, I was about 3 feet off the ground, but I don't care. It doesn't matter. I got to the first clip. My first month as a coach, I hit success clip 5 and I signed up 2 new coaches. And then I looked forward to month 2, right? Because that's what we have to do. We have to break it down into small goals when you're dealing with mindset and fear. So now I'm looking at this second clip and I'm like, oh, okay, well now I got to get to the second clip. Needless, it was like 5 or 10 feet up. So I get to the second clip, I get to the third clip, I get to the fourth clip, okay? And this is really where I related this to my business. I'm halfway up this mountain, okay? I'm at the fourth clip. I have 2 options at this point in time. I'm hanging on for dear life to this mountain. Hanging on for dear life, like my fingertips, okay? My feet were like hanging off. All of a sudden, the wind starts blowing, whipping. I mean, like ripping through. And I just like felt the wind, like I was like swaying back and forth. It was the scariest thing of my life. This is pretty much how I felt about month 4 or 5 into my business because it started to get hard. Just like this rock climb, it started to get really, really hard. And I was like totally doubting myself. How am I going to finish this? How am I going to get through this, right? Same thing with like that, those month 4 to 6 in your business. Because initially, can everyone just make sure you're muted? Sorry, I don't know. It's coming from somewhere. Hold on. Okay, I think it's gone. Okay, so like month 4, month 6 into your business, things get really hard because initially as a new coach, people are like, oh, wow, you look great. What are you doing? You're building excitement, and then you run out of your warm market and things start to get difficult. And you have 2 options, just like I had 2 options at this clip right here halfway up the mountain. So I really let fear set in, and I turned around and I looked down and I didn't see anybody because the mountain was so high and I couldn't hear anybody. And like, I literally started shaking. And I just was like, I can't go on. There's no way I can go on. I want to come back down. I was so scared in this moment that I literally was like 2.5 seconds away from giving up and just pushing backwards off the mountain. This is how I felt month 6 into my business. It was so hard because now I was working with cold market, and like it would have been so simple, you guys, to just push away from this mountain, to just push away from this business. It would have been so simple, right? So easy. Boom, done. Who cares? Nobody's going to care. You're done. Over and done with, right? No one would have known. I didn't make it up the mountain. I could have said, I scaled the mountain. No one would have known, but I would have known. I would have known if I gave up on this mountain. I would have known if I gave up on this business, right? So in that moment, I had 2 choices. I could quit, or I could push past this mindset that I was in. I was in a very negative mindset. I was like, the wind is blowing. I'm going to fall backwards. I'm going to take a fall, and it's going to be horrible, and this is so scary. And then I was like, wow, I'm doing this to myself. These feelings that I have right now, like I'm creating this whole scenario myself. So instead of thinking like this, I'm like, how about I think of like getting to back to my small steps and getting back to that clip, right? I just got to get to that next clip, and I could see the clip, right? All right, I gain my composure, and I go and I go and I go. And long story short, I get up to the top. I get up to the top of this mountain, and he says, all I hear is, take a look at the landscape. And I was like, this man is like on major drugs because I am not turning around and looking backwards off this mountain. And I said, no, bring me down. And he said, I'm not bringing you down until you take a look at the landscape. Okay, so here I am hanging on for dear life on the side of this ginormous mountain. And I turn and like, I saw the whole Barcelona, Spain. It was absolutely breathtaking. It was absolutely amazing. I just got chills. When I got to the top of this mountain, I realized a few things. One part that I forgot to tell you, because I actually wasn't going to tell you guys because it's really embarrassing. When I got to clip number 4, I started crying because I was so afraid. And I started crying because I asked him, please, please, please bring me down. And he said, I'm not bringing you down until you fall twice. And I was more afraid to fall, just like you're afraid to fail, right? You're so afraid to fail in this business. I get it. I've been there. I'm still there. Every day I got to wake up and I got to think, what am I going to do today to move my business forward? Because if not, I'm so focused on failing and falling off of this mountain. So I cried on my mountain climb. So anyways, back to the top of the mountain. I get up to the top of this mountain and it just was absolutely incredible. So here's my moral of this story. Can you guys imagine if I gave up at clip number 4? What if I gave up at clip number 4? I would have never in my whole entire life saw that breathtaking view of Barcelona, Spain. Never. I would have never seen that. That is something I will never experience again in my life. I will never be able to see that. You will never in your life be faced with a business opportunity that you are faced with right now. I can guarantee you that. I promise you that. So you have 2 options at that clip number 4, at that month where you're ready to give up, where you're ready to throw in the towel. You can keep going or you can give up. Giving up is easy. Quitting is easy. Moving forward, guys, it's not easy. This business is not easy. But I can guarantee you that when you get to the point where you want to be, whether it be time freedom, financial freedom, whatever it is that you're looking for in this business, when you get to the top of that mountain, to your goal in this business, and you take a look back and you say, wow, I did it. That feeling is far greater than ever quitting, than ever pushing myself backwards off that mountain. So imagine if I'd given up at month 4 in my business, or month 6, or year number 1. Imagine, like, when things got really, really hard, because they get really, really hard, none of us would be here. None of us would be on this call because I gave up. And you can't do that. You can't do that. You have to focus on your small goals. So the moral of this whole team call and of this whole story is that fear is a mindset. And it's insane to me because I used to not ever believe that fear was such a powerful mindset at that. I always thought fear was a feeling, and that's just it. Like, you feel love for someone, and that's not a mindset. You genuinely feel in your heart you love someone. And fear is a feeling. I genuinely feel afraid, right? But if you focus on what is making you afraid and you switch your mindset and you do like a 360 with that mindset and you start to focus on the positive and your small goals, you're going to notice a big difference in your business, because I can guarantee you right now, 76% of coaches on this call are letting fear hold them back, whether it be fear of posting, fear of failure, fear of what other people are going to think about you, whatever your fear may be. That's holding you back. And you got to change that mindset. You got to get rid of that, because at clip number 4, when I was letting fear take over, it was a really, really bad feeling. So I'll just give you my little victory climb here. So basically he had me like go up this stupid mountain and take these clips off so that we could move to a harder rock climb. After I got down off of the first rock climb, I didn't even know that something harder existed. Like, I thought that he was joking, and I thought that he was going to say, like, that was the hardest climb right there. And that wasn't the case at all.
It's important to breathe, okay?
It's important to breathe, okay?
And climb as relaxed as possible.
And relax, because he knew I was freaking out. Okay, so I don't know why this video keeps like skipping, but basically the very next climb after this man had the nerve to say that we were going to see the mountain up there. You can't even see me. I'm up there at the top of that mountain. This was the hardest climb. When I got to clip number 7, I asked him, because I cried again, how many more clips do I have to go? Because I was counting my goals, my small steps with these clips. And he said, you have 2 more clips to go. And I saw one clip ahead of me, and I said, all right, cool. There must, 2 clips. What, he wouldn't lie to me, only 2 clips. So I get to clip number 1. I get it. It's cool. It's fine. By the way, coming down is extremely scary because you don't know where you're going. So very scary feeling. So anyways, I get to clip number 2 on the side of this mountain, and I see 3 more clips. 3 more. So he lied to me to get me out of that feared mindset. So sometimes you just have to trick yourself into believing that this business isn't that hard and that you can do it. And you really have to.
Craziest thing I've ever done in my life.
That was the craziest thing I've ever done in my life. Honestly, I would never do it again. A lot of people ask me, like, how was it? Would you do it again? I would never in my life do it again. It was by far the scariest thing I've ever done in my life, secondary to this business, because this business is so scary, you guys. I'm telling you, like, especially when you let it be scary, when you wake up and you're just so afraid to fail and you're so afraid people are going to say no, and you're like, take this sweaty workout selfie and you're like, oh, that picture is horrible and I'm so afraid of what people are going to think about it. Who cares? Who cares? Just stop caring, please, moving forward. Change your mindset. If you do one thing after this call, set some small goals, some small attainable goals for your month and break that down into your week. If your goal is to hit Success Club 5, then you need to be messaging about like 20 people a week, because on average, 1 in 10 people will say yes. So you got to break that down into the law of averages. Break it down into small goals and change your mindset, because I'm telling you that mindset is everything in this business, in life, in rock climbing. No matter what it is you're doing, your mindset can hold you back like from doing really, really great things. And when you get to the peak of this business, I'm not there yet. I know a lot of you guys think I am. I'm not, but I have reached some really, really awesome goals that I've set for myself and our team. And when you get to the peak of those goals and you look back and you say, wow, like when I got to the top of the mountain and I got to saw that breathtaking scene I will never again see in my life, you will never again have the opportunity you have with Beachbody. And I'm not lying at all. Beachbody is an incredible opportunity, and we all have the same opportunity. It just dependent on what we do each day to reach our goals. So I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you guys for coming onto the call. I hope it helped you a little bit. And just know that we're all in this together. We're all scared. It's okay to be scared, but it's not okay to let it run your life and to let it like run what you do each day with your business. You got to run the business. Don't let the business run you. Does anybody have any questions? You can just raise your hand. I'll just go down. No. Okay. I don't see any. So thank you guys for coming. Change your mindset. Do like some shoulder pumps. I'm telling you, that shoulder pump. Now I look in the mirror like I'm Rocky. Like, hey girl, yeah, you got this. All right. It's cool. I do really crazy stuff to pump myself up, especially before I send my invites. Like I go on YouTube and I listen to crazy inspirational videos. And then I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I got this. And then I send these invites and no one responds. So I just send more. All right, I'll let you guys go, and I hope you guys have an awesome night, and we'll see you next week for our team meeting. I'm so excited about it. All right, bye guys. Have a good night.